My wife's secret girls' trip exposed, betrayal, lies, and the collapse of our marriage. Should I take revenge for the lies of so long? Part 1. My wife, Gwen F. 31, and I, Robert M. 33, have been together for 11 years and married for 8. We have a set of 4-year-old twins, male, female. Our relationship has been spectacular. We spend at least one night a week together on a date, sex is regular, we discuss everything, have long intimate conversations, and financially we are hitting full stride. Both of us have growing careers. It wasn't always this good, but never has been bad either. We have grown up together, we had some typical couple issues early on and throughout our 20s. But each challenge just seemed to bring us closer in the end. I have always said my wife is the queen of compromise. She always takes the extra time to get to the root of any problem we're having and come to an agreement we can both live with. On top of that, she always puts 100% into our relationship. That's what makes what I found out 2 days ago so much more devastating. My wife has been cheating on me. Every June, my wife and her best friend Scarlett take a girls' trip. It's been a tradition they've done since they were 18. It's nothing crazy, they usually just pick a nearby touristy town and spend the weekend shopping, or laying by a pool, or doing spa treatments. Nothing too over the top. She has this year's trip already booked and it's in just a couple of weeks. The other day, I was looking at our bank account app, and it wanted some mandatory info verification for privacy's sake. I clicked the button and it went into 2-step authorization. Clicked OK and it said it had to send me a code via text, but it's my wife's phone tied to the account. I begrudgingly got up and went and found her phone. I would normally ask, but she was napping and I didn't want to wake her. I picked the phone up and hit for the code to unlock since it obviously wasn't going to recognize my face. I know the PIN, it's the same thing she uses for everything. Once unlocked, she has Snapchat open, and there's a message from her BFF in the chat. It says, "Are you really going to go through with it?" A sense of dread washed over me. I really had no reason to feel this way, but something about the question just felt so off. I thought hard about how my wife would respond, and typed back, "Why wouldn't I?" Scarlett responded, "I'm just saying, 2 guys at once is pretty intense." My heart dropped. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Knowing I couldn't keep the charade up, I stopped responding and began looking through the snaps. There were 2 guys I vaguely recognized as being from my wife's past. Unfortunately, it's Snapchat, so when I clicked on them there was nothing there. I went deeper into her phone. Nothing in her texts or email. I looked through an oddly named folder and in it is WhatsApp. Here are the messages I was looking for. Her messaging with her old HS boyfriend, Donald M. 31, making plans for their upcoming girls' trip. No smoking gun, no sex or pics, but definitely flirty. Definitely making plans to meet at the hotel, and definitely planning on him bringing his college roommate, who was also my wife's second boyfriend, John M. 32. I couldn't believe she would do this. I was also wondering how long this has been going on. There are not a lot of messages, but I could tell that this won't be the first time Donald has joined her on the girls' trip. I knew since Scarlett would figure out that I sent that last response, I had to confront my wife when she awoke. When she finally awoke, some grueling 45 minutes later, she immediately picked up her phone. She didn't even notice me sitting in the chair in the corner of our room. After looking at her snaps, and sending a few back to Scarlett, she finally put 2 and 2 together and realized I had been on her phone. She looked over and finally noticed my presence. Her first words, said in a very aggravated tone, were, "Did you go through my phone?" Before I could even get a word out, she started laying into me about invasion of privacy. I became immediately engaged. How dare she blame me for anything? I tell her I know she is cheating, that she's talking to Donald and John, and that her and Scarlett's trip is just a cover. At first she tries to deny everything. Tries to gaslight me. Telling me I'm reading too much into the messages, that she is just catching up with old friends and knew I would act like this, that's why she didn't tell me they were going to get lunch. It was all bullshit. I got so mad this whole thing devolved into just screaming and yelling. I told her I wanted a divorce, and she said, "Really? You're going to throw away over 10 years because of a couple nothing texts?" Implying I was the one throwing things away, made me see the darkest red, and I said what I knew would get under her skin far more than anything else. "I'm not the one throwing it away, you stupid cunt." Now I knew this would drive her crazy. She hates that word. She even gets upset when TV characters say it. I've never seen her that mad, but it worked. She totally flipped and screamed at me that she does this for us. I was mind blown by that statement, but she wasn't done. I'm paraphrasing from memory, but basically she just ragingly started spouting off everything. "Why do you think our relationship gets better every fucking year? I deserve this. It's my free weekend, it lets me handle all the bullshit from the year, resets me. If you can't understand that, that's your problem. So fucking what if I'm crossing some lines? Are you not fucking happy? We have it great, and all it cost you is me getting 1 weekend a year off. At this point she softened a little but kept a stern tone. I get it, your pride is hurt, but it has nothing to do with you. This is for me. You can have a great life, I just need this once a year, and you need to make peace with that. We have a good thing going, don't fuck it up because you're mad now. I couldn't believe what I heard. I felt literally woozy at that moment. My chest tightened. This woman was out of her mind. I didn't say a word. I left the room, went to my car and headed for my brother's house. When I arrived I just texted my wife, I'm at Mickey's, please don't message me, I need time. I've been hanging out here for 2 days just under the guise of generic marital problems. She has texted me each morning asking me to come home and talk. I responded both times, not yet. I don't know what to do, I've never been hurt so badly, or so callously. I love her, but this is too much. I plan to go back home tomorrow and try and sort this out. I don't see how we ever come back from this. Part 2. Well, it's been a week, so I thought an update was due. It's not a good one, and I am beside myself with what to do. Really feel like she has me by the balls here, so a day after my last post I went home to talk to her. She started off by giving what seemed to be a truly remorseful apology. Just not for what she has been doing, but because I was never supposed to find out, and especially not find out like this. She apologized for hurting me. She kept going on about how she loves me and didn't want that. There was no remorse for the cheating and some blame shifting. Telling me I shouldn't have been on her phone in the first place. She told me she wants our marriage to continue. I started to speak up and she cut me off and said to just hear her out. She began this prepared list of reasons we shouldn't divorce. I can't remember all of it, but there were basically 3 reasons and all these sub-reasons that backed them up. The twins, we don't want them growing up in a broken home. They are so young and this is what they know. Neither of us wants to see them half the time. They are only 4, I don't want to be without them any day, much less at least half the days. Our relationship is actually great, we complement each other, have so much fun together, rarely ever argue, and when we do it's more a discussion. We indulge each other's likes, we have sex often, just on and on. Up until a few weeks ago I would have agreed with all this completely. I tried pointing out that infidelity kind of negates all that. This is where I could see she felt no remorse and I could tell she believes all her own bullshit. She said the girls' trip is what makes all this possible. I was dumbstruck. She went on to say her yearly trip allows her to get all of it out of her system. It's the reason she can be all these great things all year long. That anytime she feels a little resentment about something, or I'm just getting under her skin, or she doesn't feel like having sex or indulging one of my hobbies, she can always put that aside because she has this. I literally can't believe the audacity of this woman. Financial stability wasn't much, just her pointing out how much difficult it'll be with us both on our own, as we live so comfortably and get to do so much because we both are good earners. This is true, and if we divorce, I'll take most of the fallout. Our house is a premarital asset of hers. Also, she will likely get primary custody, and I'll have to pay some sort of child support. When I finally got to speak, I told her how hurt, betrayed and insulted I was. She did tear up and apologize for hurting me, but at no point did she apologize for the actual cheating. Sticking to the idea that I was never supposed to find out. I asked how long, and she said 10 years. That's basically our whole relationship. I began to ask for more info, but she cut me off again and said that talking about the past is just going to hurt more. She wants to talk about the future and what I needed to work this out. I told her if you want to reconcile then obviously this trip needs to end. She stopped me there and said, no, I'm not going to stop. I'm still going this year. I got pissed and yelled, then we are done, I'm leaving and divorcing you. This is when things turned worse. She sighed and said, no you're not, you are not going to win in this situation. You don't have any proof I did anything, you saw some vague messages that are now gone. I bet you didn't send them to yourself or take pics, did you? This is a no-fault state with no infidelity clauses. I'll be really devastated to be without you. I don't want you to think I don't love you, but I'll move on, here in this house, with more free time. You'll move in with your mom or brother, and be miserable trying to rebuild on your own. I'll probably get the twins on most days because my work life is more flexible. I know you don't want to be without them any more than I do. I felt so defeated in that moment, and she could tell. I sat there just wishing I could disappear. Gwen, seeing the collapse, moved in to comfort me, and I just let it happen and didn't respond at all. She started talking again, saying, let's just go back to the way things were. You can keep your life. I hate seeing you like this and will do everything to make you happy. You can tell yourself whatever you want for the 2 days a year I'm gone. I understand you need some time, so take it, but don't toss us away because of pride. This has been the most painful week. I don't want all this pain. I want the life I had, and I guess it's on the table. But you can't just erase it. The mind movies are brutal, and the realization that she feels no guilt, that she actually sees her cheating as a good thing, has me questioning everything. I feel like I can't even trust myself or my judgment because I'm the idiot who fell in love with this person. I'm still here at the house. She is love bombing me like never before. Trying to initiate, making me meals, buying me stuff, complimenting. It's insane. I don't know what to do. Is it really possible to put this behind us, to just deal with it? I don't even know. No matter what happens, I lose, she wins. Part 3. Well, she left this morning for her girls' trip. I spent the morning taking care of the twins. We did Play-Doh for a couple hours. It's amazing how intent their little distractible brains get when you bust out new tubes and a couple of big play sets. Anyway, it was a welcome distraction from the turmoil of the past few weeks, which only got worse the last few days. I still can't believe she went. It is amazing how crazy her ability to compartmentalize is. I mean, every day she is just the best mom. She also has been trying so hard to make me happy. Even when I'm a dick to her, she just says, I know that's the anger talking, it's valid, but I won't take it, I'm going to give you time to cool off. Like WTF. She has come on to me every day since I found out, and I'm disgusted with myself because I've given in twice. Each time I feel literally sick. Meanwhile, she acts like it was the best time ever. I am embarrassed to report I have been doing the picking me dance, trying to get her to not go. In the end, it didn't matter. She still went. To Herman fucking Missouri of all places, to tour wineries and to get railed by her 2 ex-boyfriends. Surprisingly, I felt pretty numb today. Like I'm finally ready to accept this is who she is. I should have accepted it last week when I finally got the details out of her about the years of girls' trips that came before. That was painstaking to do in its own right. Not because I had to drag the info out of her. No, she seemed excited to share her exploits, but because she was so determined to not give me the opportunity to have hard evidence. This woman had me put my phone in the car, then have this conversation in the shower. Like, who even thinks of that? She started off by asking if I remember when she and Scarlett went to Santa Claus, Indiana? I said, yeah, we had only been dating for like 2 months. She said, right. Nothing happened that time, or 5 years ago when I was 6 months pregnant with the twins, but every other time I have been with at least one other guy. At least? I inquired. She said, yes, at least. The first few years I didn't have a plan other than picking up a guy and bringing him back to the hotel. If he was a lame duck, I'd pick up someone else the next day. If he was good, I would keep him for the weekend. For some reason, this was actually worse than it being a full-blown affair. The idea that she was just picking up random dudes made my skin crawl. When I asked if she used protection, she said, sometimes. While disgusted, I pressed on and asked why she started cheating in the first place. She said, you remember we were having some serious issues just after our first year together. I had the trip coming up and was venting to Scarlett about it. She was having some problems with Sam, her then BF, now husband, and said we should cheat on you guys. At first I was appalled, but then she told me about how her mom has cheated on her dad forever. He just takes it, turns a blind eye. She used to get so mad at her mom, but told me one day something happened. When she was 16, Scarlett got sick at school and was sent home. She drove herself home and quietly came inside, only to catch her mom in the act. Upset and crying, she asked her mom why. Her mom told her because it makes her better. Having this over her dad lets her handle all the things that she doesn't like in her life, makes her a better mom and wife, and makes her feel alive. At first, Gwen was skeptical of this whole thing and told her she didn't promise she would do it. Gwen did admit, though, the idea excited her. It wasn't until the first night that she realized Scarlett had invited a classmate to meet her at the hotel. She was going to be joining him in his room. At that point, Gwen said she had some serious FOMO, and while they were out at a local college bar, she picked up a guy. Apparently she picked right, and kept him on retainer for the rest of the weekend. This is when Gwen went into a whole monologue reminding me about how she is all year long, but especially after she returns from the girls' trip. It's not untrue, she has always been super attentive and sexual for weeks after, that starts the second she gets back each year. It's crazy to think how much I used to look forward to her going, knowing that she always came back with her battery charged. Now knowing how she's charging it has me absolutely disgusted. I asked, so how did we get to you having an affair with your HS boyfriend? She said, it's not an affair, we fuck one weekend a year, and message a little bit leading up, that doesn't make it an affair. But to answer your question, After the first couple years of random guys worked out, the next 2 years didn't, so I decided to do what Scarlett does and invite someone. The first time was a client and it went great. The next year, we had just gotten a hot intern at work and he was always flirty, so I invited him. The weekend was amazing, but when we got back he was clingy. I ended up having to threaten him, and I learned coworkers don't make good choices. I ended up reconnecting with Donald at our high school reunion 4 years ago. He's also married, so I knew it was safer than single guys. He had something to lose too. Don and John are still best friends. John is also married. Being with two at once has been a fantasy for a long time, so I figured why not, and just asked. For some background, Gwen and Don were high school sweethearts and decided to break up amicably right before going to the same college. They kept up as a friends with benefits thing for the first semester until Don got a GF. John was Don's roommate freshman year and they became best friends, so the three of them, and some others, hung out a lot. When Don got his GF, John asked if it was cool for him to pursue Gwen, and Don had no qualms with that and they all kept hanging out until John and Gwen broke up after about a year. Shortly after that I came into the picture and she lost touch with both of them until the HS reunion. After the whole shower conversation I should have just quit, but I didn't, and can't. I did this pick-me dance for another week. Now she's gone for the weekend getting spit roasted. I guess this is my life now. It sucks so bad, but I guess I should just make the most of it. I mean it's one weekend a year. Is 2 days of pain worth 363 days of awesome? I could make it 13 years, or maybe just 10, get the twins to high school. I could have my own weekend, even the field? Who am I kidding? That'll never happen. Part 4. It's been a year. Gwen and I are still together. She has put in extra effort in everything over the last year. I know she can see it on me, that I am not happy. I don't lash out at her anymore. What would be the point in that? We are a few days away from her next girls' trip. Things are escalating, and I don't know what to do. When she came back from last year's trip she was determined to show me how great she was, because of her cheating. Getting me gifts, trying to be extra kinky in bed, taking on more chores. She does this for the most part every year after getting back. The sick thing is I used to look forward to her girls' trip. When she got back from last year it was no different, except for one huge thing. She wanted to tell me all about it. Why? I feel stuck in this marriage, and yet she wants to make it worse by sharing the graphic details I didn't ask for. At first she was just casually dropping statements about her most recent weekend. I would usually ignore the comment or pretend to not hear, but after she did it for the third time one day I snapped at her. I said, "Why do you keep doing this? Do you have no soul? I am trying to make peace with all of this but you rubbing it in my face is not helping." She went into damage control and apologized. She was doing her best to smooth things over the rest of the day. I knew she would try to come on to me that night, but she didn't. She wanted to talk, again, insisting we do so in the shower, and told me, "I know you have some negative feelings, that's saying it lightly, about my girls' trip. I have a bit of a confession. I kind of have this thing." I became extremely skeptical. "What kind of thing?" She continued. "Well, for years, I have been fantasizing about telling you about my sexploits." Yes, she really used that word. It turns me on to share them with you, and I have always wanted to tell you while we were intimate. I became a little sickened. "You have got to be fucking kidding me." She stepped back. "Please don't get upset, I don't want to fight, I'm trying to have a mature conversation." I became frustrated. "Fine, just say what you have to say so we can move on." We went back and forth as she asked me to take this seriously and have a real conversation with her. I told her I would and just wanted her to get on with it. She said, "You never knew before and I felt it was my duty to protect you from those feelings. But now you do know, and I was hoping you could just indulge this for me, at least a little bit." I was mad at this point. "I don't want to indulge anything for you. I don't want to be married to you, I'm just stuck with you. I have no interest in hearing about how rando number 4 fucked your drunk ass or how you got wobbly hayed by your ex-boyfriends. It's fucking disgusting that you would even bring it up." She got huffy and said, "We're back to this. I don't know why you have to be this way, I am still your wife and I still do so much for you. I love you, I do this so I can be as good to you as possible. I don't know why you can't see that and just accept our relationship dynamic." I said to her in an almost shocked way, "Cheating is not a relationship dynamic." At that point she just got out of the shower and walked away from me saying, "We can talk later when you're ready to have a real conversation." It did not get better. The slow pestering, the accidental details drops, the funny story, that just happens to come from those weekends, she wouldn't let it go. She would even try to still have real sit-down conversation about us indulging her kink. Always being really vague, I guess in case I was recording. I told her one time, "It's not bad enough that you have me trapped here, you want to torture me too." She let it go after that, but definitely seemed sadder. Her feeling down didn't bother me one bit. Or at least I pretended like it didn't. Ultimately though she won, she always wins. I ended up letting her tell me about her first trip. My thought being it was so long ago, and we weren't even engaged yet. I can mental gymnastics my way though that one. I was wrong. She was so excited. For something that happened around 10 years ago, she was able to be uncomfortably graphic with the details. She was trying to be extra enthusiastic in the things she was doing to me, but I was still struggling. If it hadn't been for her physical enthusiasm, I probably wouldn't have been able to perform. She thanked me afterwards, another WTF moment. I told her that it was really difficult for me and I didn't want to do that again. She said that was fine, but of course we have done it 2 more times since then. Each time ambushing me with it while we are midway through. That has led us to further escalation. The girls' trip has been set to be a week long this year. Not even a week, it's 9 fucking days. She leaves Friday and won't come back until the following Sunday afternoon. She hasn't been hiding her plans on enjoying the whole week-long trip either. This is not the 2 days for a year of peace and happiness. Between her pushing this kink on me and now it being a 9-day trip, I don't know how much more I can take. I just keep telling myself it's for the twins, but at some point too much is too much. Part 5. 3 months ago my wife got back from her girls' trip. It was a record-long 9 days this time, in which she slept with 6 different men during the trip. She dropped that bomb within an hour of getting back and tried to sleep with me right away. That was a big no. She got a little pissy but dropped it. I held out on her for a week. She was love bombing big again. I took it, might as well. Don't have much else to look forward to. She started acting weird about a month ago. I figured she was dying to tell me about her trips. It wasn't that though. She came to me, while I was showering, and said she thinks she is polyamorous. I actually was not shocked. At this point nothing she says will ever shock me. I only said one thing to her. So, it's already not just 2 days a year, it's not a week a year. Now you want it to be all the time. You always want to be able to freely cheat. She went into sales mode. I could see all her tricks. I could tell just looking in her eyes the wheels were spinning. She had it all prepared, everything she was going to say. She wanted to be able to explore other relationships. She felt this was the way to being her best self. After talking about all that she would get out of it, and how great she would be if she could be her true self, I finally asked, "And what do I get out of this?" She said, "You get me being the best wife ever to you, all the ways I am. I will make you a priority, I will never deny you." I interrupted, "Oh, no. Remember, you always said I get all that you have always been that by letting you do whatever you want 2 days a year. Well, it was 9 days this past year. Now you want it to be what, once a month, twice a month, every week? When does it stop? You are asking me to give up more and more." She came back. "Well, you would get to explore new relationships too. It wouldn't be just one-sided." Literally said, "Fuck it, you're just going to do it anyway." She got excited and thanked me. Part 6. The ink isn't quite dry on the divorce, and I feel like I'm floating. It's so crazy. 4 years and 11 months of turmoil. From the day I found out she was cheating until today. I almost don't know what to do with myself. We actually agreed on a fair and even custody arrangement. I literally can't believe she didn't fight me more. I guess I did break her. I am so relieved, and angry with myself for letting it happen. Man, I had some low self-worth. After we went to being poly, she had an actual boyfriend in no time. I think it was like 4 weeks and she told me her and Nick were making it official. She was still trying to be superwoman with me and the twins when she was home. However, the on-the-side dating was catching up with her. She wasn't blowing off plans, but she definitely was making fewer family plans so she could see this guy. On top of that she was having the occasional one-nighter, which really wasn't at night, it was more like an hour in the afternoon. I had given up trying to catch her or get evidence. I figured what was the point? She would figure out a way to spin it against me. We had some specific rules that we talked at length about. Most of them I guess are pretty standard, but she insisted on full transparency. I think for one she did want to keep tabs on if I was seeing anyone, even casual conversation. She also wanted this to fulfill her sharing kink. I told her more than once I didn't need the details, I didn't even need to know it all. Gwen always came back with, "Our rules are full transparency, no secrets, everything out in the open. I know you don't have anything going on right now, but when you do I want to know all of it, it's only right I do the same." Way to take one for the team, honey. Her and Nick were an item for almost a year. What I found comical that outside of myself and Scarlett, she went to great lengths to hide her relationship. I wallowed in further self-pity for like 3 months. Then one day I decided fine, I may as well make the most of this. Over the 3 years and 2 months we were poly, before I filed for divorce 7 months ago, she had 2 more boyfriends beyond Nick, numerous friends with benefits, and still went on girls' trips with Scarlett. Once I decided to put myself out there, I took a beating for about 11 months. It was brutal being in the dating scene. Virtually no matches on any platform. Since Gwen was using 1 or 2 nights a week for her exploits, I told her I needed a night to myself as well. Our date nights were pretty much gone at this point since I didn't really care to maintain the relationship with Gwen. I began going out trying to find someone in the wild. That didn't have much results. In those first months I did manage to get a kiss one night at the bar, but that was it. I had started at the gym about the same time I decided to try and meet someone in person. That's where I met Kate. Kate was amazing. She had just gotten out of a long-term relationship. It had been draining for her. It was largely a dead bedroom due to his issues, and he had largely been a burden on her once they moved in together. She was looking for something very casual. She wanted a date, wanted intimacy, wanted connection, but didn't want all the pressure of a relationship. She wasn't ready to commit. Our relationship started pretty naturally. We just kind of started talking one day. Eventually we started working out together. Then texting. I was upfront with my circumstances, and she thought that was ideal for her at this point. I told Gwen everything along the way. I could tell she was jealous. I couldn't believe it, but she was. Gwen tried to play it off, tried to be okay with it, but I could tell she wasn't. She didn't snap until the first time I took Kate out on an actual date. Snapped might be a strong word. She was passive-aggressive crabby for 2 days afterwards. Our relationship escalated from there. It became intimate. I was doing the occasional overnight. I followed the rules and told Gwen. She always listened. She got a little upset each time, tried to hide it, but I could tell. What she didn't see coming though was what I did early on. When we first decided on this lifestyle, I insisted she take a greater role at work, while I scaled back. I really didn't have an ulterior motive initially. I was really trying to slow the amount of time she would be able to go out, while getting more time with the twins which, at the time, were the only thing making me happy. You may say I am more their primary caregiver now. Gwen was still doing plenty with them, but between her dating and uptake in work, I was definitely more prominent day to day. That has maintained over the past few years. Then it finally happened a little over 7 months ago. I had been seeing Kate for just about 2 years. Gwen came to me with a somber look. She told me her most recent boyfriend had ended things, and she was coming to realize that maybe she didn't want all of this. She told me, "It has been hurting me to see you so happy with someone else. We should take a step back and just focus on us. I'm going to stop dating and I'd like you to end things with Kate. We could go to counseling and get back to it just being us." I thought for only a moment and said, "No, I don't want to close. I'm not giving her up. You asked for this. You don't just get to end it now because it's not ideal for you." It was never ideal for me, but I found my joy in it. Gwen got really upset. She cried. I felt nothing for her. Later that night, I talked to Kate and told her what happened. We had been saying I love you for a while at this point. She told me she had stayed in this relationship because I was what she wanted. She figured this was the only way. I told her it wasn't. That I didn't feel anything for Gwen, probably hadn't for a long time. I only cared about her. I wanted to be real with her, just her. About 2 weeks later I had Gwen served with divorce papers. The next day I moved in with Kate. She had a 3-bedroom house. It wasn't as big as Gwen and I's, but it was nice. We worked out a temporary custody agreement. Gwen didn't have much she could say as I had been largely the twins' primary caregiver for 3 years at this point, and was now the one with the more flexible schedule. We agreed on even split. Gwen for some reason was really distraught over all of this. It's like she had to see me leaving to realize what she was losing. In the months we have been separated I have been happier than I can remember. Being with Kate on a full-time basis has been a dream come true. I spent so many years feeling broken. I had no self-respect, no dignity at the time. I let Gwen push me around until I didn't even recognize myself anymore. Having Kate pulled me back into being the person I always had been. The twins have adjusted well. They knew something was wrong with their parents for a long time. Gwen and I have tried to be as amicable as possible. She still sometimes calls asking me to reconsider and give us another chance, mostly when she's been drinking. Which previously had only been something she did when in social settings. I'm hoping the finalization of the divorce will be the thing that gets her to understand it's over. I guess only time will tell. Until then, I'm just going to enjoy my newfound happiness. Part 7. Just a small update. Kate and I recently got engaged, and she is expecting our first child together. Unfortunately, the update isn't all positive. In the year and a half since our divorce, Gwen has turned heavily to drinking. 4 nights ago she was killed in a single car accident. She was drunk at the wheel. The twins are absolutely distraught to lose their mother. I find myself going back and forth between grief and anger. I'm even questioning whether things would have gone different had I just left her when I first discovered her infidelity. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest ones. Have a great day.